that topic. We are going to move on now, heading over back to North America. The US State Department is firing over 1,300 employees as part of a sweeping reorganization plan launched by the Trump administration earlier this year. According to a senior State Department official, termination notices will be sent to 1,107 civil service employees and 246 foreign service officers currently serving in domestic roles. The affected foreign service officers will be immediately placed on administrative leave for 120 days, after which they will formally lose their jobs as per an internal notice. The staff reduction has been hailed by President Donald Trump, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and their Republican allies as overdue and necessary to make the department leaner, nimbler and efficient. However, the move has been severely criticised by current and former diplomats who say it will weaken US influence and its ability to counter existing and emerging threats abroad. The Trump administration is reshaping American diplomacy and working aggressively to reduce the size of the federal government by mass dismissals and dismantling whole departments like the US Agency for International Development and the Education Department. Well, joining us to discuss this latest update is Scott Faulkner, head of the Eagle Enterprises, a security firm in Washington. Scott also joining us from Washington. Scott, is there some irony here? Donald Trump signs his big, beautiful bill, which is going to add potentially $3 trillion to the US debts, but then making these cuts, which some people are saying could have ramifications to security.
Talking decades of waste, talking decades of layer upon layer upon layer of bureaucrats that really have no real value. We like going back to when I was with Reagan. The joke was you had hallway ambassadors who were basically people of very senior rank who just basically wandered the halls and attended meetings that had no agenda and no output. And so this is a long overdue honing down. The other part is that the State Department, especially with the 8 years of Obama, the 4 years of Biden and Trump, not really addressing the State Department much during his first term. You've got literally 16 years of left-wing ideological leanings and anti-American activities and even pro-Hamas bias within the State Department. So cleaning house is both a good management move, a good budgetary move, and ultimately a good strategic move.
Yes, Scott. Just very quickly, looking at that cutting, that trimming that you've spoken about there, is there a risk that this does have wider ramifications? We've seen cuts from Donald Trump being announced throughout his second term. Is there a risk that the cuts could go too far, even if, as you're saying, there is fat that needs to be trimmed?
Having worked in an embassy overseas in Africa during the Reagan years, I can tell you that the layers of people who do nothing but create plans that are never used, who develop intelligence analyses based on basically third and fourth party information, there's no real value, there's no real risk. What you want is a lean department focused on America first, and a lean department that is working closely with frontline original sources within our intelligence community and within host countries to really create an accurate picture of each country's needs, each country's risks, and America's opportunities.
Scott, you will be staying with us, of course, on NewsX. Well, we will continue to bring you all of the updates on those potential federal cuts in the United States. But US President Donald Trump is backing away from earlier